Sequoia National Park with Beth, and we are at the Atwell Mill campground. So we car camped here last night, but we flew into Vegas like 2 days ago, and then we drove out to a different campsite not too far from here, and we camped there. And then yesterday we got up and we did a bunch of sightseeing, day hiking stuff. We just went to the General Sherman tree and saw a bunch of the giant sequoias. This is a 6-day, 5-night trip. So I'm going to probably break this up into at least 2, maybe 3 separate videos. So I'm expecting to see a lot of cool scenery. We're doing a loop trail. So today we got a couple mile drive over to the ranger station to pick up our permits. Beth already has all the reservations done. We just got to get the permits and then drive a little bit further from there to the trailhead where we'll park and start the hike. We're going to talk to the ranger and see what the water situation's like. We kind of altered our plans last night so we wouldn't have such a long day today, because we're going to be 9,000-10,000 feet elevation. We have a climb today right off the bat. We might shorten today if there's water in the one creek, so maybe it'll only be like a 5.5 mile day today. I've been watching the weather for Sequoia National Park, and it never rains out here. Knock on wood. So yeah, it's supposed to be just perfect sunny the whole time we're out here, all 6 days. We are close to Death Valley, but because we're so high up in elevation, the highs are only going to be maybe around 70 and the lows into the 40s. This is another one of those sketchy roads like we were on yesterday. At least this is paved somewhat, but yeah, it's just straight. Oh shit! It's just straight over, and there's nowhere for cars to pass right here. Sucks. We just picked up our permits here at the ranger station, and there's restrooms over here. But I wanted to show this. This is what's recommended certain times of year, not right now, but when you park your car up here, to tarp it, because the marmots will go underneath and just eat parts of the car. I guess something underneath is tasty to them, but yeah, she said this time of year it's not super necessary, but they do have this shack, this little shed over here where people just leave their tarps after they're done with them, so other people can have tarps. It's 9:30. We're getting close to getting started here. You can see the parking lot. Some people have their cars covered, some don't. There's a real nice waterfall up there, but I've been watching people climb this mountain. We got to start over here. I've been watching them go up and up and up. I guess we got to go over top of this mountain at some point. But before we get started, there's one last beer. I got the sun sleeves and the sun hoodie, or my bucket hat on. We're not going to be covered by too much tree cover. There's not a cloud in the sky. We started the climb. There's the parking lot, and nice waterfall over there. Yeah, I don't know if we're going through the pass over here. I'm assuming that's where we're headed. You can see that mountain over there still has snow on it. This is late July. And right here is a small sequoia tree. The ranger station said there's not many of them up in this area. A little over a mile and a half into things. Still climbing. It's not the most difficult climb we've ever done. You can see how high up we've got so far. There's one mountain. There's another one. And there is Timber Gap, which, as Beth pointed out, probably got the name from all the timber. So that's obviously the point of least resistance to get between these two mountains. So it's pretty obvious the trail's going to cut through there. Look at this. We made it to the top of the pass. This is Timber Gap, and that's a whole new valley over there we're going to be heading down into. We got about roughly 3 miles to campsite. We're at 94.9. 94.9?
9,491 feet of elevation.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
This is the Mineral King Loop, I guess, that we're doing, the whole thing. There hasn't been any blazes. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be blazed anywhere. It's just obvious where the trail is, but yeah, definitely have a map, or be tracking on some kind of app. And this is a pretty massive hemlock. That's almost as big as some of the sequoias we saw yesterday. It's only 60 degrees and we are pretty much at noon right now. Opening up, we're coming out of the pine forest now. And getting some really nice views. Following this ravine down through here. I don't know if you can see that water trickling down through like a chute. That's probably Timber Gap Creek, stream, whatever, which is going to meet up with the creek that we're going to be camping at. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. First possible campsite, not really hammockable. We've got 2 hammocks to do. Here's our situation. This is Cliff Creek down here. There's no easy water access right here. I walked down the trail about 50 or 60 yards and there is easy water access at a waterfall. We have to go that way anyways because we're gonna have to cross the creek either today or tomorrow. And there's probably a pretty good chance we're gonna get our feet wet going that way. There's another trail called Black Pass Trail down there, but it's showing a campsite down there, but we don't know if it's gonna work. And it's probably gonna be at least a half a mile one way, and if it doesn't work, we're gonna have to turn around. So we're looking for some way to hang 2 hammocks around here, make this work. So there might be some possibilities, although I don't really like hanging over top of rocks. We did decide to come up here and cross the creek. When Beth walked up here, she happened to notice there was a bear box over here. I'll show you that in a second. But there were already some people up here with a tent, and they took one of the best sites up there. So we set up our hammocks over here in this little clearing, and then we claimed this fire ring for ourselves over here. We're going to build a fire here and then build a fire and eat over here, and then go have our hammocks up that way. Here's our water source, and that water's probably good, at least 4 feet deep right there. You can swim in there if it wasn't so cold. Good old camp chores are done. It's still pretty early. It's not even 5 o'clock yet. We got a fire going. Tomorrow's gonna be an easy day. We only got like 5 miles and it's pretty much all downhill. It's about 20 after 8 in the morning. And we've been up for about an hour, but just slowly packing up camp. We only have about a 5-mile hike to our next camp. Middle of the night last night, we got woken up to the sound, a big crashing sound. I thought it was a tree falling, but it seemed like it was falling for a longer time than normal. And never heard it hit the ground. Beth said that she thinks it was a boulder falling. I don't know if it's like maybe one of these boulders was rolling down the hill or something. It was over in this general direction. So I guess we'll never know what that was all about. There's other people that were camped over here. They just took off 5 minutes ago. And there was food in this bear box, and it wasn't theirs. We asked them, they said it wasn't theirs. Like somebody had just dumped a bunch of food in here. Look at all this food people left in here. See anything good?
Dude, there's tuna creations.
Look at all those wraps.
Look at, dude, there's tuna creations.
You know, they probably dumped it because they got so sick of eating tuna creation wraps.
I don't know, there's just some homemade shit. Yeah. It really smells. Like, I mean, it smells good. It doesn't smell like it's bad. They got oatmeal. What is this? Peanut butter, dude.
That's a banana and peanut butter.
That's good shit. I might take some of this. I'm not going to take a fucking tuna creation, though. What is that? Frenchie's yellow mustard? A honey barbecue. Dude, they probably dumped a couple pounds of food here. It looks like maybe they might have been trying to do a through hike and then decided to go back. This is like a week's worth of food, dude.
That's some heavy shit to carry and all that.
That's expensive too, all this money. Look, they got wraps, and the wraps are still good. This is recently put in here.
Yeah.
What is this? I might take one of their Ziploc bags. I want to see what this is. These are mayonnaise. Barbecue honey wrap mayonnaise. Dude, the wrap's still fresh.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, who knows if they didn't, you know.
I should have packed my wraps like that.
Yeah, dude.
Fold them up into four.
I'm taking some of the peanut butter honey stuff. No, I'm serious.
What is this here? This looks like breadcrumbs. They might have stuffing or something in there.
Dude, they have noodle. I don't know what that is.
Pad Thai with chicken.
Yeah. What is that? That's chicken, yeah. Pad Thai chicken. Such a heavy. 190 calories for one of these, dude.
Is that peanut butter and what?
Peanut butter banana.
Ooh.
I'm taking it. I feel bad doing this and like maybe I should carry some shit out.
Like you're helping them with their pack weight.
Yeah. Yeah, the pack weight they left here. Look, here's they cut it.
The directions.
Yeah. It's 360 mils, 1.5 cup, 850 calories. These people are new backpackers because he leaves directions like that inside their thing. They're not coming back for any of this either. I might as well take some of this just to take one of these. Tuna creation. I don't have a spoon to eat it with though.
I have a spork if you want to wash it off.
No, I might use your spork, dude. You got a wrap?
I'll have extra wraps.
You do?
I'll have extra.
Oh, dude, this is a good week's worth of food here.
Oh yeah.
They emptied out all
That's
their
a
food.
week's worth of food for 2 people.
Yeah.
At least.
Dude, that's some heavy duty shit. I honestly think somebody may have backpacked down here. And, I mean, they had a dump. They're obviously trying to climb out.
Yeah, I just noticed the sign too. Do not leave trash or food when you depart. It's the law. Look, there's an official statute for it. Please yell and throw rocks and sticks in its direction. Should be pretty much all downhill following this creek for a majority of the day. But like I said, we only have about 5 miles. It's like 10 o'clock now. We're only a few minutes into the hike for today, and the trail's already a whole lot less maintained. Pretty much less traveled. It's kind of overgrown. So I think probably most people are doing the smaller loop, which where we camped at, there's a way you could, that's where the intersection would be if you wanted to do the smaller loop. So yeah, we're doing the bigger loop, which is where we're on right now. This is just a regular, your standard hemlock. This is not a sequoia. So kind of large. Here's a little thing to know if you're doing this trail, is this is whatever creek this is. There's Little Meadow, it'll show Little Meadow Grove. It's up in that valley where this water is coming from. There's no trail going up there, so don't have that in your itinerary to go up there. Right in the middle there is really cool. Like as Beth said, looks like something from North Carolina. Oh, it's just randomly out here. This gigantic sequoia. This thing is massive. I'll have to go out there and have Beth get a picture of me. I can't tell from here if it's coming out. There's 2 trunks or 2 stems. I can't tell if they're coming out of the same trunk at the bottom. It's hollow inside. Like you can climb in there and get out of the rain. It looks like one massive trunk that's split into two separate trees. We're back into the massive pine cone. So I guess that one came from that sequoia there. So we're at 6,300 feet elevation, and in relation to that big one I was just filming, there's a couple other, not quite as big, but still very tall ones right in this little grove here. These ones, look, they're taller than General Sherman, don't you think?
Taller?
That,
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think that's
They're
taller?
Not as wide, dude. That
Yeah.
one is pretty darn big. That one right there.
Yeah.
That was like, that could easily have been in that park.
Just around the bend, here's another massive one. It's one base that's split into, looks like three trees growing out of one base. This is the inside of that one that's split into 3. Look at this. I'm sliding all over the place on these. Wow. Here's another, just one of these massive ones. Not that they're not all massive, but this one's insane. Kind of large. Just came out into this section right here. We were just over there. That's where all those sequoias were at, right over in there. And you got the mountains over here. Like, check out these rock chutes or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called, but in those mountains over there. And this mountain over here above tree line. That's pretty cool. There's another Nice one out there. This is beautiful. There's a two pretty massive sequoias right here, and there's like a swampy area down there. But there's a campsite over here, established campsite. I don't know. Beth says she trusts that water down there. I don't see it, doesn't not moving. But it would be kind of cool to camp next to these sequoias, yeah. So this is showing as Redwood Meadow. And then once we come up around the bend, there's going to be a trail going to the left, according to Gaia. It goes to Redwood Meadow Grove, which grove, I'm assuming, is a grove of trees of some sort. We are coming down into Redwood Meadow, and there's a couple cabins down here. Somebody just had a tent right up here. So, yeah, this is a pretty well-established campsite here. So this is a ranger station, and this is like the tool shed over here. Redwood Meadow. Cool. Solar panels. Somebody's got a look at that hammock over there. That's good. So we'll get a video of how fat this tree is right here.
Yeah, this is pretty big. I'm 5'2".
It's pretty crazy. All right, well, I'm gonna have to do some research when I get home and find out if these are actually redwoods, because it's Redwood Meadow. Yeah, there's a sequoia over there. Maybe that was possibly that was a redwood that I thought was a giant hemlock earlier. I don't know. I'll research that later. We're coming up onto this another giant sequoia up there, right ahead, and looking up about 100 and some feet up in the air. There are branches coming off it that are as thick as an oak tree. This one here is leaning. Look at how much that's leaning. I don't know if you can tell on here. It's like super leaning. I don't know where the rest of this one went. It's not on the ground anywhere. Does it burn completely to ash? And this is just a few hundred yards past the that ranger station. There is moving water down here, just coming right across the trail. That looks pretty good. There should be another trail coming, a trailhead up here on the left. We're staying to the right. I haven't seen it yet. Look, that one's hollow. Go maybe crawl through the middle of that one. We decided to take a break here in the shadow of these sequoias, and we found a couple stumps to sit on. There's an outhouse over there. Here's Beth's report. There's a fire pit over here. That outhouse is operable, usable. No toilet paper in there. And there's another campsite right over there.
Right in front of the sequoia.
Right in front of the sequoia over there. Oh, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and put a screenshot in here of where we're at. We were at the orange arrow at the top of the screen, so in relation to the ranger station and that trail that goes over to Redwood Meadow Grove. But just looking at Gaia, we only have just a little over a mile to where we're camping tonight, so in no hurry to get out of here. All right, there's a great view. Look at that. I think we're gonna have a couple more coming up right up here. That's that bulb that we were looking at earlier. And this is the one I want to get a good picture of coming up. There's a
like a
waterfall down there, a water chute. Look at this. Wow. We're about to go across a bridge across this creek, river, whatever it's called. What is? I'll figure out what the name of this creek is and put it down below. Oh, look at this over here. This looks like it might be kind of fun or dangerous or both. Pretty cool. All right, so that water crossing right there, that is Eagles. What's in it? It's Eagle Scout Creek or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is the campsite that's showing up on the our planned campsite. But I'll discuss what's going on here in a minute. We could definitely hammock right here. Other than that, I don't see the best other options.
There really isn't any others for him. That's it. Maybe down, no, they're right there.
Fire pit,
Yeah.
Well, you could probably make something work right there.
It's pretty decent. It's not, I mean, I would hang here. I don't think you would fit, but I would have to do
You'd have to trim some trees, trim some of those sticks.
I'd have to trim, but I could definitely, this is probably where I'd have to hang from.
Yeah, there's a nice flat spot for tents right there. But yeah, so this is Eagle Scout campsite. Good water source though. We took that break back there. We were discussing some alternate plans. So we're going to go past here. We're going to go to Bear Paw Meadows. Supposedly there's a spring there. We're going to cross one more significant water source on the way there. And we're going to try for Bear Paw Meadows. There's supposed to be a spring up there. There is pit toilets up there, so that's good. We don't know what the terrain is like, what the trees are going to be like when we get up there. It's supposedly like a pretty big campsite though, so hopefully we'll find something there. We got some significant uphill left to do today over the next 3 miles or whatever we figured it is. But that's going to cut out a lot of elevation that we were planning on having to do tomorrow, and you know, cut out some of those miles we were going to have to do tomorrow too. This is our water source. This is I believe this is called Little Sequoia Fork River. They're calling it a river. So there's as you can see, the cairn out there. We have to cross here. So this is kind of sketchy. I think it's going to be wet feet. We need to get over it and then get on top of that log without falling. We just stopped here in the shade, filled up our water, and I kind of washed myself off and just covered everything I had in ice cold water, my buff and my rag and everything. So hopefully stay kind of cool. We got 2 miles of uphill till we get to camp. It's like 1,500 feet of uphill. There's 2 miles, or no, I can't remember. It's either 2 or 3 miles to get to camp. I filled up all the water that I have. I have 2.5 liters of water. So hopefully it's not gonna break my back too much going up this hill. Beth is finding campsites around here. Good to know. Amicable? Oh, yeah. It is amicable. Beth just said this would be a good recommendation to put in the video. If you're planning on going to Eagle Scout campsite, just go the extra mile and come up here, because this is a much better site right here for hammocks and tents, really. Pretty sure this is the mountain we're gonna have to get up on top of. It's not the most daunting hill I've ever looked at, but it's still a pretty good climb. The campsite itself is supposed to have a spring. I hope there is one. That's why I'm carrying all this extra water just in case. There's supposed to be a spring not long after here, but we'll see how that goes. I'll make a note of it. Yeah, some of the nicer peaks around here. Looking over here, let me squeeze past you here. Okay. Right over there, that's beautiful. But we were right over there on the trail. We went that direction and crossed the valley, and where we got water. All right, this is a pretty nice view. Other than this tree being in the way, I couldn't help but take advantage of this little off-the-trail vista. Wow. And that was about 6/10 of a mile up the hill from where we got water. There is actually a spring here, as Gaia says. It's a good sign too, because I don't know when the last time it rained around here. I've been watching the weather forecast for like a month around here, and there hasn't been any kind of rain. But of course, I guess that's all groundwater anyways. And this is called Little Bear Paw Meadow. We have just over a mile to the campsite. There's another good shot of those bear cliffs over there. Okay, here's a better view. 4:25, we made it to Bear Paw Meadows, the first of 2 Bear Paw Meadows campsites. There's a bear canister over there. There's a new looking outhouse right over there. And most important of all right now is there is a spring right here. The top part is not working, but the bottom part is just flowing real good. So untreated water, fine with that. And I mean, these are big trees, but we'll hammock somewhere. We'll figure it out. They said if there's a pre-existing fire pit, we could use it. Maybe able to hear fighter jets flying around. I'm assuming they're fighter jets. We keep hearing them every once in a while. I don't think we're near anything. So yeah, they're probably just doing practice out this area. Anyways, we decided to move to this little fire pit area over here, as opposed to where we originally came in over there. So we'll be able to keep an eye on the food locker here. And we came over here because there's just, the trees are a little bit, there's really nothing to work with too much with the hammocks for trees over there. But we'll make some stuff work here. I think I'm gonna go from this tree to this tree. Now it's not the longest stretch in the world, but there's nothing dead up top. But this tree is really fat. I'm gonna have to use whoopee slings and some combinations of stuff here to get around this tree. I'm not putting my tarp up tonight. I didn't put it up last night. It's not supposed to rain. If it does, I'm screwed because this is too far of a stretch for. I'd have to really do some ingenious work to get this to reach from there to there with the thickness of that tree right there. All right, here's a couple things I keep in my pack just for such emergencies, if you call this an emergency, just for having big, fat trees or trees that are far apart. I keep a set of whoopee slings in with my regular straps. So right now I'm just using my regular spider strap as a tree hugger, and then I got my my Marlin spike hitch on here that I'm attaching to the hammock like that. The other end I'm just doing like normal because this tree's not as fat. And then this is another thing I keep in the bag is I keep this line. I put like a dog bones on both ends, specifically for tarps because it's not load bearing. But you just run the thing through itself right here, and then you can attach. It gives you extra line since you don't have to take this line all the way around the tree and back. Tonight for dinner, I'm having wraps, peanut butter and jelly wraps. I found these things online. I haven't tried them at home yet. That's going to be one wrap and then one other wrap, and we'll see how this goes. And PB&J wraps are a win. We got some other campers over here. I think there's some up on the hill by that big boulder, but so far everybody's cool. 7:30, got us a nice little fire started here. Got some firewood collected. We got a big piece over here. We'll burn that one. A few bigger ones here. Tomorrow, because of how long we went today, the extra miles we did today, tomorrow should be quite a bit easier. A lot less miles tomorrow, a lot less elevation gain. Since this is the end of day 2 and we got 4 more days left, I think I might actually just end part 1 of the video right here and make 2 more parts, part 2 and part 3 for the rest of the trip. If there's nothing exciting happens the rest of this evening, we'll call this the end of part 1, and thanks for watching.